I've been playing CFB 27 for about 13 hours straight now, and here's everything I learned so far since I've been playing. Number one, the pipelines are very similar to what they were last year. They don't seem to be significantly different, although there are some slight changes, which could just be RNG. When it comes to the NIL, it is affected by not only your deal breaker with that recruit, but also your prestige. I learned that Motivator Tier 3 and even Master Motivator Tier 4 do not make a huge difference when it comes to off-season training. I learned that if you're a top-tier team and you buy the recruiting coordinator assistance, you actually get more points during your regular season recruiting than you do in your scouting, which I thought was interesting. I found a 99 speed, 3-star wide receiver who really wasn't getting recruited by anybody else. The regular development for a normal dev player is about 25 points in the off season, and impact development is about 35 points. A star dev is going to be about 45 points. And if I had to guess, I haven't specifically seen an elite dev, but I would guess it's probably around 60 points of dev traits. I learned that for speed and strength on the lower half of development, it's going to be 15 points to develop either one of those. When you get to the middle, it's going to be 17 points to develop it. And then when you get up towards the end, it's going to be 20 points to develop it. It's 20 points for quite a bit of the way, so it's significantly more expensive for speed and strength when it comes to development this year. Pipelines in general have been faded out quite a bit, or at least they've been overridden quite a bit by all the other mechanics in the game. NIL has become a little bit overpowered. You can actually recruit athletes without ever offering or without ever spending any hours on them. So before, you'd need to send the house in order to get the meter to go up. But honestly, if you offer enough NIL, you don't even need to spend time on them. So you can sign an entire class really quickly if you're a really talented team and you're willing to take some lower tier players. I thought it was interesting when I was doing my playthrough, I saw Ohio State had signed 11 5-stars. I don't know if I've seen a computer sign that many 5-stars in a recruiting class. Even when Georgia was as OP as they were, I still think they were getting closer to 9 every season. Defensive adjustments are completely different buttons this year, so it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get used to it. So hop into practice mode, make sure you get comfortable with it. There are a lot of different plays that are vastly different than what we've seen from last year's game to this year's game. A lot of different movement, and it's really exciting because I think the playbooks are a lot more alive and real. I really enjoyed the perspective you have from the game. Something about it just seemed more tangible, seemed more real, and I really like the view when we're playing. You have to be careful when you're selecting a team because it'll look like you don't get very many dynasty points or NIL money, but actually, especially for some of the lower tier teams, they have a lot of really talented seniors that are going to graduate, and that money is actually going to be available for your use when it comes to recruiting for next year's class. So I've seen teams that look like they only have about 65 NIL dollars, but when you actually click on them, go in, and you go start recruiting, they actually had closer to like 850 hours or 850 NIL points. So it's one of those things that don't be afraid to jump in and double check things before you just assume that's what reality is. The game is still a little bit buggy, and there's some things that definitely need to be changed that didn't get attention. Things that are a little bit frustrating that there was a lack of attention to detail. There's still some abilities within the coach archetypes that are still built on last year's everything, including one that says it'll increase the caliber of coaches that are available to you to sign in the offseason. But this year we can sign any coach that's in the game, or at least try to. So there's just some outdated information that doesn't really make any sense, and it needs to be updated. So I'm hoping they'll do that. I've been relatively confounded when it comes to how are we going to attack this season. I think you're going to have to play through quite a few seasons before you get the hang of exactly how you like it. And even when you're in an online dynasty, I think it's going to be really competitive, and I think we're going to be stepping on each other a lot more than what we used to. So I'm really excited to see how it all shakes out and what comes to fruition with the significantly increased competition we're going to see with NIL money being just such a huge factor in recruiting. I think this is going to be one of the most interesting seasons to play college football that we've ever had. And if you're not joining an online dynasty, you should really consider it, because I think this will be peak competition across the board. So that's everything I got for now. I'll come back with more.